What's going on, everyone? My name's Eric, and today on the channel we're going to be checking out this. I just bought a new guitar. And there's no unboxing or anything like this. We're just going to get right into opening the case and showing what this whole guitar is. I got this guitar used from a very, very good friend of mine, and a hint for you is that this guitar was actually on the channel at one point many, many years ago. I've worked on this guitar a few times. This guitar was actually featured on a very cool video game soundtrack guitar thing, and yeah. And I'm honestly really excited to have this guitar in my personal collection for a couple different reasons, which we are going to be talking about later on. So without further ado, let's open this guitar case and see what is inside. So here's a quick shot of the case, and yes, it is from Ormsby Guitars. This one is bought secondhand, so there's a little bit of damage on the case, but that's fine. That's what a case is supposed to do. So now let's open this thing and see what is inside. Now let's get to the moment of truth and see what's inside this case. And now, as you can see here, we have an Ormsby Hype GTR 8-string. Now let's take it out of the case and let's learn a little bit more about this guitar in particular. And here's the new to me Ormsby Hype GTR multi-scale 8-string. This thing is absolutely insane. Now you might remember I actually had this guitar on the channel a few years ago, and I actually wrote an original song with it. I'm gonna link that in the cards and you can go check that out after this video here. But most importantly, this guitar used to belong to my very, very good friend Andrew Bana, and this guitar was actually the Doom guitar. Pretty well used all over Andrew's original Doom OST guitar covers. And that's a little bit of nostalgia for me personally, as I helped out Andrew with one of the songs in that Doom OST collection that he was working on. And yeah, it's pretty amazing to have this guitar here in my own personal collection. And not to mention, it's actually really cool to have a guitar that was owned by one of your very, very good friends, and it's still within like your friend and your family circle, if that makes sense and all that. So it's good to see that the guitar isn't going too far, and it is in a very good home, and it's going to get a lot of use here. But getting back to this guitar here, this is an Ormsby guitar. Now Ormsby have two lines, like most guitar companies do. They have their handmade in Australia guitars, which are at a premium price point, and this is the GTR line, which is made in South Korea, made alongside of other reputable brands, import lines like Schecter and LTD and PRS. And yeah, this thing is just awesome. Just overall fit and finish right now, just holding it, it's so solid, and it is just an absolute monster to look at. Going over some specs really quick here. I'm not going to spend too much time doing this. We're going to do a deep dive in a later video after the holidays wrap up and everything like that. We got a swamp ash body. We have a 3-piece set maple neck here, which is pretty cool to see. You know, normally you see either neck through or you see bolt on with extended range of guitars. So seeing a set neck design like a traditional Gibson Les Paul is pretty cool. The neck shape is super flat and very unique on this thing. It's honestly nothing like I've ever played before. We got the big old volute here just to reinforce the headstock. And speaking of the headstock, this big old 8 inline reverse headstock. We got the strings over air design here, and I think Ormsby was one of the first companies to actually pioneer this design here. I could be wrong. We got locking tuners up on the back of the headstock as well. They are unbranded. Not too sure what brand they are, but it seems like they're probably gonna do just fine. Yeah, this thing is super sick. And the whole theme with this guitar, we have like this anodized like copper top on this guitar here. This isn't actual copper. On Ormsby's made in Australia guitars, they actually have legit copper that's on the guitar, and it's rusted and patinaed out, which kind of reminds me of an older vehicle that has spent a lot of its life in the Rust Belt. And that is kind of near and dear to my heart as well for many other reasons. This is just a vinyl graphic on here that's printed on, but it still has those rusted characteristics here on this green color as well. And yeah, personally, like just those two things together, the green and the rust, that's a special place in my heart personally. And as I can see here, there's no bubbling or anything with the overall design and the overall vinyl graphic that's on here. I know a lot of vinyl graphics and decals back in the day kind of used to bubble and things like that, but it seems like this one is holding very, very well. We got this multi-scale hip shot bridge. Hip shot bridges are kind of like my go-to in terms of string through and just regular 2-point tremolos that are non-locking. Ormsby humbuckers. Don't really know the specs on those at this time, but I will be doing a little bit of digging for you. 1 volume, 1 tone, push-pull on the tone, 3-way pickup selector. And last but not least, we got 24 frets on this multi-scale design, 25.5" on the high E side, and all the way down to I think 28 and a little bit on the low F sharp or the low E side, however you want to tune this guitar here. Ebony fingerboard, 24 stainless steel frets. Then we have the offset dot inlays, and side dots here. I'm pretty sure these are lumen lay as well, and I will double check that for all of you in a later video to follow. But yeah, I'm honestly so excited that this guitar is in my collection. It's something very, very unique. And now, aside from owning my Dingwall bass, which is a fan fret instrument, this is actually my first fan fret electric guitar. And I've jived with some of them, and some of them I have not jived with before, although this one really feels comfortable to me, and especially with that low 28-inch scale length on the low E side, I'm really excited to actually mess with this in maybe some lower tunings, or maybe some just alternative weird high tunings as well, because this guitar also has a 25.5-inch scale side on the high E side. So we got a lot of options here, and I'm really excited to actually get to know this guitar and spend a lot of time writing and making some awesome music for you guys. So let's just keep this quick. Let's plug this in and let's get a few initial tones, and then we're gonna get out of here. And once again, that was the Ormsby Hype GTR 8-string plugged in just for some quick initial tones. And if you couldn't tell, it was tuned pretty low, especially on the 8th string here. I have no idea what string gauges are on this. I know Andrew threw strings on this maybe a while back. Not sure what strings he was using, but it seems like this guitar is holding that super low tuning like just extremely well, and it sounds pretty awesome too. It has a lot of very unique features and design choices, especially this headstock here, which kind of looks like a harpoon. Kind of reminds me of this character from an anime I used to watch. His name was Mako Tsunami. If you know that one, then yeah, you know what's up. Otherwise, fan frets here, this thing is deadly. Yeah, this whole thing just feels awesome. It sounds great. It kind of just stays out of your way. The fret axis is just out of this world great. But I'm gonna do a little bit more homework on the pickups on this guitar here. I'm still not too sure what kind of magnets or the output on them, and you know, because I am nerdy and I like those things. So I'm gonna learn all that and get back to you on that with a full comprehensive video that walks through everything on this guitar in much more detail as the holidays wind up. And with all that being said, thanks for checking out today's video. If you like this guitar and if you like Ormsby guitars, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you want to see me do with this guitar here in the comments below. I have a couple ideas, but I would love to hear your ideas as well. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up as well. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I have tons more videos like this, doing some unboxings, doing full demo gear reviews and everything like that, including maintenance tips and how to actually set up your guitar in full detail. Thanks for checking this video out, and I'll see you next time.